Thank you so much for coming on. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing great. How are you?
Very, very good. Thank you for asking. So, Lars, we love to kind of get to know our traders a bit more and how they got into trading. So, I guess always the first question is, where did it all start for you trading wise?
My trading journey started around 8 years ago. Some friends introduced me to this thing called Forex trading, and I got very intrigued, and it started from there. I blew many accounts, did a lot of mistakes, and like every person who just doesn't want to give up, I'm still here and sticking around and doing my thing.
That's awesome. 8 years ago, yeah. So you've got a lot of experience in the market.
I've seen a
At
lot.
what point? I bet it. I mean, every trade has the same story, right? The beginning is just chaos, and then you slowly start figuring it out, and it happens. But how long did it take you before you started genuinely seeing, okay, look, I can get this is actually a real thing. I can actually make money with this.
I think for me it was more was a little bit longer process because in the beginning I was jumping strategies. So I started out like with some daily or weekly time frames on the higher time frames. Then all of a sudden I was like feel like my account wasn't big enough, so I doesn't make any kind of progress. So I switched it up and was doing like very short term, like down to the 1 minute sometimes. And obviously I was losing there. And so it took a while to find my balance. And I would say maybe 2, 3 years. Yeah.
Hey, that's actually not bad at all. 2, 3 years. I mean, for clarity, it took me about 10 years. So 2, 3 years is phenomenal.
Great. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what kind of trader would you say you are today? Are you would because you mentioned you used to trade or you tried trading on like the 1 minute, didn't really work out. Are you more the swing
Yeah.
trader intraday?
My experience with scalping was, I think like that's not my type of trading because it's very emotional when you see big numbers moving up and down very fast in a very short time. So I moved a little bit more to swing trading, still intraday, but more on the 1 hour, 30-minute time frames, something like
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Nice, really awesome. And what do you mostly trade? What instruments?
Mainly US indices.
Okay,
I
very nice.
so S&P 500, Nasdaq, these kind of stuff.
Yeah,
In the beginning I started with gold, but for me it was a little bit too volatile. So yeah, I
I
stick to
agree.
it.
I'm terrified of gold. I mean, I trade indices as well, mostly S&P and Nasdaq as well. So I completely agree with you. Gold is one that just gold is a strange one because gold you'll have your best trades with it, and then you'll have your worst ones as well. It's a double-edged sword. You at one moment you love it, the next moment you hate it. It's just too
Yeah,
too crazy for me. I like
absolutely.
something a
I
bit
mean,
more
you have
stable.
there are days in gold where you can catch like 100, 200 pips easily.
Yeah.
And obviously it's great if you're on the right side, but if it caught you, then it's going to be disastrous.
Exactly. Yeah. But there's some people out there who love gold and they do really well. So I'm always have huge respect for gold traders who can be consistently profitable because I think it's probably one of the harder instruments to trade. Maybe along with Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin can be very similar in its its volatility. But well, I'd love to move on and get to know a little bit about your strategy. And if it's possible, if you could show your charts as well as you're explaining it, that'd be amazing.
Sure, sure. Let
Thank
me
you.
share the screen here. So should I just walk you through how my usual day looks like? Because I have like very
Yeah.
specific routine. So
Yeah, that
basically,
would be awesome.
I start out every morning in around like 6, 7 a.m. When I wake up, I go to the charts, have my coffee, and then I do top-down analysis. Obviously, I know where the markets are, but it's always good to get some reminders on like where we are. So I just start out on the weekly and then see like obviously this is as a US 500. So this is the S&P. We are on doing all-time highs every week now.
Mm, I
So
know.
obviously the higher time frames is very bullish, and I do not want to get caught in any kind of shorts. So basically, what I'm doing is I just draw some support, maybe some resistance, and going to the lower time frames. I have some like another support over here. So basically, I just pin out my in zones of interest of like where the support will be, where we
Yeah.
have resistance, and where the market can go. And then it's just like if I see something in the morning, I just trade it. Sometimes I come back later in the day and yeah,
Nice.
so like
So,
hourly is the lowest it go.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
So predominantly support and resistance then. And then what would make you enter a trade? What would be kind of the
So usually I look for support zones being tested. So that would be
hmm
a great area if you come down here. So I would love to maybe get long over here, like
hmm
something like this, have a little bit bigger stop loss. Um, but I also do sometimes like a normal breakout strategy style. So if I see something, we have a high and then we break out of that, I try to catch this as well. So that
hmm
would be if I see a high like this one. I don't think that's in my trading hours, but it comes down, forms a base like a small support, and then it starts pushing. So I would try to catch it on the breakout of the of this level, and then stop loss
hmm
below it. And I try to target like sometimes 2 to 1, but probably like the risk reward is usually around 1.5, like something like
Yeah.
this.
Wow. I love how clean and well thought out your trading strategy is. It's not overcomplicated. You're just looking for, support, resistance. You're waiting. I noticed you mentioned about trading times or when in your trading times, so you know when you want to trade, the times that work best for you. You're patient. You're not, trying to catch every move. You're waiting for the right setup, and it's clearly working very well for you. And I've always noticed this: the more simple a trader's chart is, the better chances they have for success. When you see charts that are just scattered with indicators and lines and trend lines and everything, all kind of combined into one crazy system, uh, you
Yeah,
kind of never really have direction because everything's telling you, oh, one thing's telling you to buy, the next thing's telling you to sell, the other, you just never know what to do then. So
yeah.
I love how simple it is.
That's a lot of stuff gets contradicting because that's also why I don't go too low on the time frames. Like the maximum I go is usually 30 minutes.
hmm
Um, because you're gonna see a lot of red candles on the 1 minute time frame, and then on the 15 minutes everything is green. So you get a lot of contradicting signals there. And in terms of indicators or something like, yes, sometimes they do help, but I mainly just use very basic stuff like RSI and moving averages. But just to give me a direction, these are not used in my process of forming a trade.
Yeah, yeah, makes perfect sense. Well, I absolutely love that, and thank you so much for sharing how you trade. That was really awesome to see. Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Um, so I really like your strategy. I really like how how disciplined you are as well. I can tell you're very disciplined in the way you explained it. And that's obviously a huge part of successful trading. You have to kind of overcome the psychology part of it, no FOMO, no greed. You got to be disciplined. How did how did you overcome all those kind of big hurdles when it came to trading?
I think every trader needs to go through these different phases. And for me, I learned to be disciplined and only stick to 1 or 2 trades a day in my scalping phase, even though that wasn't successful. But I was doing some back testing and everything looked good on paper. And then you go to live trading and you apply it. And at the end of the day, you look at your journal or you look at your trades and you're like, yeah, some of these trades are according to my back test, but then when you lose a trade and you start over trading, then everything will be thrown off. And this was then I had like many attempts where I just said to myself like, okay, from tomorrow I will just stick to my rules, and obviously I didn't when things go
Yeah.
wrong. So yeah, I learned the hard way, and then moving away a little bit from the scalping approach for me did make a lot of difference because I set a trade. I don't manage it that much actively. I set a take profit and my stop loss, and then just leave the charts, come back like 1 hour, 2 hours later, see how we're doing, and that took a lot of pressure off me.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because that sounds easy in theory. You set up the trade, you walk away, and you just one or two things will happen. You either take profit or you get stopped out, right? Like it has to eventually do something, right? But when you try to put that in practice, it is ridiculously difficult to kind of detach yourself from the outcome of the trade. I mean, I found it so hard to not constantly want to check on the trade and then, overanalyze. I'm in profit. Should I just take the money now? And that is, in my opinion, probably one of the hardest things, just to kind of trust your initial analysis and just let it run.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's why I think backtesting is so important.
yeah.
And you have the data to see what happens if you take on the take off the trades early. What happens if you're doubling down, and I can tell you how it ends, but just figure it out for yourself. And I think that is super important, and this one helps you make a rational decision in an emotional time.
Yes. I
Because
really
when you
like,
look at the numbers, you're gonna be emotional, and then
yeah,
if you have the data to back it up, it's easier for me to make rational decisions.
absolutely. I really like the tip there, back testing, because once you have data, you can kind of, like you said, you have confidence in, okay, look, even if it doesn't work out this time, I know over enough trades I will be profitable as long as I stick to it. And if you have that data to support it, it can definitely help. But yeah, that's probably, I would say, the hardest part because finding an edge in trading, I wouldn't say is actually that difficult. There are many strategies. I've seen some, even more simplistic strategies and, just support and resistance. I've seen stuff that's using like one EMA and it's been profitable. But
Yeah.
it's just because you have to be so disciplined and strict, and then all of a sudden it works. And I think a lot of beginners, hopefully people watching this who are, struggling, take that advice on board because that really is, you don't need a magic strategy, you don't need a magic system, you don't need a magic indicator. It's all mostly 90% up in your head. And if you can control that, then all of a sudden it clicks and it works. So, and you're living proof of that. And so is most traders. So, really phenomenal stuff. Um, I would love to move on and talk about Ola Prime. So you've had a payout with us. I believe you actually got it today.
Yes.
And how has your experience been with us so far?
I can only say positive things for the moment. It's very great. The sign up was easy. I saw online that you were advertising fast payouts, and I can confirm that I got my payout within the same day. I think like even with 1 hour or 2 hours. But it was very fast and easy process in general.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome, and we're glad that you're enjoying being part of Ola Prime. But what's the future for you? Are you looking because you have an $100,000 account? You're targeting, your like your profits are really good. I say it's just right. You're not over targeting. You're not over trying to make too much because that's where you start getting too risky. And you're doing it just right. You're like statistically speaking, you're kind of perfect for really good growth. So are you looking at potentially scaling this current account or are you looking at getting more accounts?
So I think like the goal every trader should have would be like moving at some point move to your own funds if you have enough if the account is big enough. So what I'm doing is basically I'm just compounding my own accounts and then using Hola Prime as a supplement to my income,
Yeah.
to my normal income, and so I just can grow my normal account bigger.
Yeah, smart choice, smart choice. I mean, however, I think we're living in a time um where for traders it's easier than ever to get funding. I
Hmm.
mean, if you go back 20 years, I mean, prop trading technically existed, but it wasn't how it is today. It was much higher barrier to entry. You would have to do like a 6 month, 1 year apprenticeship with some firm and you know prove yourself and train, and then eventually you'll be given some capital to trade with. It was a lot more difficult. So I think utilizing prop firms like Ola Prime can really just elevate your trading career because if you're starting with your own capital and you're sticking to risk limits, 1, 2%, and most people will start with, let's say, $1,000, are you going to be happy with $100, $200 a month? Probably, sorry, that's if you're doing 10%, but if you're doing like 5%, $50 a month, are you going to be happy with that? I don't think so, and that's when
Exactly.
people risk too much and then they
In that
blow their
terms,
account.
I think we're living in a great time where everybody has very easy access to capital, even if they don't have that much.
Yeah.
So you can trade even large accounts, gain knowledge on larger accounts, um, only for like $400, $500 by paying for this challenge. And I think that's a great way to, first of all, gain experience, but also like obviously collect some money on the side.
Yeah, absolutely. And investing that $400, $500, and I know there is a challenge, of course, but the reality is if you take your time with the challenge, your chances of passing it grow exponentially. The people who mostly fail is because they're trying to pass it in 2 days or 3 days,
Mm.
trying to get it as quick as possible. And then again, you're doing the same issue. You're trying to make, X amount of percent in such a small period of time. While it's technically possible, the chances are you're probably more on the side of gambling than, you know, actual consistent strict trading. Treat it like a career. Take a month, 2 months, even 3 months if you have to. It doesn't matter. Take your time with that challenge, and then once you get funded, protect that account at all costs. Treat it as if it's half the value. So, if you got 100,000 account, treat it as if it's 50,000. Therefore, you're never even close to, the risk limits, and then just collect those payouts, do it again, get another account, build up the capital. Then you can start training your own capital as well, like you said. And from there, in a year, 2 years down the line, you'll be so much further ahead than if you just went through the cycle of blowing an account, adding another thousand, blowing it another thousand, trying to flip accounts into ridiculous numbers. So you figured it out. You've got the right mindset, and that's the exact mindset we're looking for in traders. So yeah, we're really happy to have you on board, and I'm super excited to see your journey with us, and as you progress. And if you're up for it, I'm more than happy to do more interviews as you get more payouts, bigger accounts, whatever it might be in the future.
Yeah, sure. Would be cool.
Awesome. Great. Well, Lars, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. Thank you so much for coming on, sharing your story, showing us your strategy. And yeah, it's been really great. And like I said, I'd love to do this again at some point.
I'm happy to do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lars. And to all the viewers, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on channel notifications, do all that good stuff. And also join our Discord. It's a great community full of traders, all sharing their success stories, different trade ideas, and helping each other out. And community really can help if you are a struggling trader. So go ahead, join. It's completely free. You've got nothing to lose. But apart from that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you again, Lars, for coming on. We'll see you again very soon. Take care.
Hola Prime, trade with transparency.